Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Like my coffee, extra mad and bitter. And they're loyal like you, so yeah, the man's a quitter. He's strapped face up behind the platinum grill. My style faceless, just pick these mic skills. And in the street killer, I will not be denied. That I'm mic'd up, I raise my head with pride. A force of nature, cruising the whip, doing walk-bys on your boulevard. Face my verbal clip. In this land of live streams, baby, I'm on the road. Got my feet on the media, scraping them up my soles. It's that umbrella guy facing the accusers. Cleated out size 14s, crushing all those losers. That umbrella guy, they said we couldn't make it. Never ask permission, just sense I'll go and take it. The media buzzwords, they will never save you. Listen and believe it's meant to enslave you. Challenging the hypocrites, and baby, I'm on fire. They flash titles like they're royalty, but it's true that I'm a journalist. Scribble nursery rhymes, one in this grill in a basket, with a tisket and a tasket, and their morals in a casket. No morals in a casket. They're always pushing make-believe and weaving straw to gold, but I'm sick of all the fairy tales and buying what I'm sold. Strolling into the backyard, taking truth on tour, baby, there is sickness, and that umbrella guy's got the cure. Look, it's that umbrella guy knocking at the door. No more ministry of truth than the plot of 1984. I'm dumping all my verbal clips, the case is filled with knowledge. They're on the mic like kindergarten, and I'm taking them to college. Why the mask, baby? Cause this has to be a crime. I'll take the mic and boom, there in the chalk outline. I used to throw elbows, but now I'm dropping nukes. You wrote another hit piece, isn't that cute? And the worst part, they'll never learn it before the stakes start channeling, crash and burn. They pretend that we need to get their permission. That umbrella guy crushing their ambitions. You're not my competition, it's that umbrella. It's that umbrella guy steamrolling them out for fun. Mic check, mic wreck, paging this army of one. There's no hesitation, no doubt, not even a scintilla. The Tokyo baby and me, I'm Godzilla.
right, man. It's been a minute since we had that play, so I thought that would be a good one today.
That's my freaking favorite song.
Yeah,
I love
that song. I love it.
I was so excited when I heard it. When I heard the beat drop, I was like, yes!
Cleated out size 14s, crushing on these losers. I love that song myself.
I love it. I remember when you wrote that.
Yeah, I was like, heck yeah. I haven't made a song in a while. I need to make a new one. You know, it's been a minute.
That was a good one. I always get all riled up when that one plays. This is a good song. Makes me want to go riot. I like it.
Makes me want to go write another song. That's what I like about it.
Makes me want to invade Canada and go save those ostriches.
There you go. Man, like you really need help wanting to go do that, you know?
That's true. That's true. All right. Fair.
Man, I swear. These folks, they never ever stop. I mean, between this Bruce out talking about Randy Shockett and encouraging people to make public calls to go after him, you know,
he has a lot of nerve. He has a lot of nerve suing someone for saying mean things about him, allegedly, where while he does what he does to Randy Shockett, and as a repeated pattern over how long has it been now? Not only harassing him over email, but encouraging others to do so, streaming about him for, 8 hours at a time. And yes, the argument can be made. It's his free speech. He has the right to do that. He does. Nobody has said different. Randy hasn't sued him. Indeed. But for Bruce to turn around and go and sue Larry for having similar opinions about him that he has about Randy Shockett. Oh, Bruce.
Yeah.
The things I want to say to you.
I mean, the allegations of lying to the bar, of committing fraud, which he calls the word fraud, procuring a law license in Gainesville, telling people that, if the bar, if they were faced, let me pull that up, actually, since I'm going to talk about it. Let me grab it real quick. I was reading that earlier.
He's on a literal crusade to ruin Randy Shockett's career.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he is trying hard to do it. And yet, a YouTuber has an opinion of his behavior, and it's not a favorable opinion. A bunch of us have a lot of disfavorable opinions of your behavior, Bruce. And you call that's somehow out of line? That's malicious and defamation, according to you? Well, then what the hell are you doing to Randy Shockett?
Yeah, what is this? What is this right here? I have to say. That's so wild. Oh, yeah, Bruce. So you had a post, and this, interestingly, this spawns off of talking about Dan Owens. You have, first of all, apparently it's terrible that Dan Owens is getting sued. That's that again, you're allowed your opinion on that, of course, but I've never seen people that will shield for anyone else, like anybody, as long as they're against certain people. If they're against Randy, man, automatic, doesn't matter, or against Jeremy, automatic, doesn't matter. And especially after you see again what we talked about with Dan Owens, Lord, if other people had that happen to them, it would be an automatic problem, but not for Jeremy, not with them. Can't be a problem there. But going further, check this out, folks. So he's like, this filing is the responsibility of attorney Randall Shockett. I wonder if Randy feels like this is a parent or something that's trying to get on. How he tries to use the proper name all the time.
Yeah, he always calls him Randall, like always. And he knows Randy calls himself Randy. Is how he signs his emails. He signs them Randy and then Randall Shockett, because everyone calls him Randy. But whatever, I'm sure Randy doesn't care. Bruce can call him whatever he wants. It's a free country, but it's immature. He's always accusing the rest of us for being immature, for using nicknames. And yet he uses a person's full name in a sarcastic manner constantly. It's like, okay, whatever. You think you're funny or clever or something. You're not. You're just a loser.
What? he's my favorite lawyer to talk about. What are you talking about? He's the greatest. Never talk about BBB that way. He's my favorite one to cover. Oh, he's my hero. Wouldn't you know that you're my hero, BBB? My
No,
wings,
it seems like he's all, he's all puffed up on his own importance and having clients and stuff. And it's like, how many clients could you possibly have? You spend your life trying to going after YouTubers who insulted you. Like, you must not have much to do, sir. You don't have much to do because you sit around all day long online writing these ridiculous screeds about people and having these grudges and these grudge matches. Like, if this guy had gone away and just been a normal lawyer who didn't talk about active cases constantly, no one would be talking about him if he had just done a decent job. But no.
Want that, though. He wants people to talk about him. He's made that clear, abundantly clear. One thing that we forgot to talk about and to pull, remember back when we didn't cover his stuff and he continually threw fits about it. We need to pull that stuff too.
Remember when I was going to cover one of his filings and I made a fake one and it just said wah.
The blah 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 one.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Wah. Oh yeah.
WAAAAHG. Yes, wah.
He was so upset we didn't cover his stuff. And then when you cover, I mean, again, it is the epitome
win with him. You can't win.
No, that's what I try to explain. He's going to do, people think, well, if you just agree and comply, no, that didn't work. We know people that tried that didn't work.
Right. It doesn't.
None of it does. So just have fun with it. I mean, honestly, it is what it is.
Yeah,
but
he should know that if he wants this to stop, he's going to have to stop first. That's the thing, Bruce. If you want the mocking to stop, you need to go away. But if you refuse to do that and you keep on suing my friends, threatening me, doing all this nonsense, it's not going to stop. We'll mock you forever for the rest of your damn life because it's amusing to me. And he hates it so much. And it's the same with Lynette. They are perfect together. All Lynette has to do to make it stop is to stop her behavior. Stop doing what she's doing to Jeremy Hales. That's all she has to do is just follow the court order and everyone will stop talking about her. But she refuses to do it. And Bruce is the same way.
Well, he's just not going to stop. You can tell he has this massive need to go after Randy Shockett. He's like, he's who is filing cases he knows have no merit. Now to me, that's a really interesting statement, considering two of the cases Bruce was involved with. Now, again, he likes to make the argument that those aren't his cases. He's not responsible. But again, it's kind of weird to say he's not responsible for cases where, he was part of the team. He's definitely the guy who is, I'm the social media face. I'm all these things. I'm everything but the face in court. That was the one for two of them, and let's see, there's
I love his letters to media. The letters to media are really something else. I'm this great, lawyer who's just, I'm pro bono helping these poor disabled people. And, this story is so important and he's just begging to get on everyone's shows. And then he has the nerve to be like, I'm a private person. Excuse me. No, you're not. You're a media whore. You're an attention whore and you're getting the attention that you so desperately want. And now you're mad about it. Well, too bad. You can't have it both ways. You can either get the attention that you are constantly demanding and it might not be what you wanted, but you got it. So you should just say, thank you, sir. May I have another? Or just go away.
There's so much of this. Somebody made a list actually with every case. And when you look at them and the way they're laid out, oh my God, it is amazing. I've got to pull that list up, actually. I'm going to pull that up later too, because it's wild when it's all laid out together. But cases have no merit in order to generate YouTube content. Again, all these people go on YouTube all the freaking time. They love going on. They promised other people, like one of the ways to garner eyeballs. Remember that what was it? The Law 3, whatever, the like fourth email, the one that was to everybody. That part of it was you get to come on YouTube channels. That was part of the thing. So it's fascinating to tell other people that all of this is about YouTube content, and yet the way you've tried to solicit people is to promise them YouTube content. It's so bizarre and so funny in its own way too. I do think like the thing they don't like with the Dan Owens thing, that might get people's eyeballs though. Like they don't want to hear that, but that's that's the thing. That's the type of stuff that may actually garner some attention. But Shockett continues, lied to get a Florida bar license. He failed to disclose. He was expelled from dentistry profession. He's already tried this, by the way. He has already tried this directly to the bar. Remember when he wrote that email chain? So he tried this. I mean,
he has already tried this, and the bar was like, no, thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. And if he thinks, by the way, that the bar is not fully aware of Randy and his license and this issue, I mean, he's completely fooling himself. The idea that Randy did anything that was fraudulent is a lie. It is not true. And this is all speculation on his part. And if Randy ever wanted to, I think he could prove it's a lie. And I think Bruce ought to be careful because he'll end up in a defamation lawsuit of his own if Randy ever decides he wants to.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like, he talks about sue. And yeah, I think this is one way, like you said, it would end up with him in one. It could get it. It could.
I doubt Randy cares enough because this guy's such
That's the thing. You have to care.
Yeah, I doubt that he does care. But
Randy's established himself, I mean, he's managed to establish himself in the profession. People throughout these cases, they've seen his work. He hasn't been online covering anything. He's let his work speak for himself. He's gone out and his filings actually, some of them are really, I mean, they're bangers. Interesting ways, like the Fed 2 is a different way of approaching that I've really never seen. So, it's just all been fascinating to follow there,
Yep. You know what else is funny is that his paid for journalists, I hate using that word to describe them, but Bruce's hired guns, one of them, Darth Touch, wrote some stupid, unedited, spelling-ridden article, if you could call it that, about this lawsuit, the lawsuit that Bruce filed against Larry. And what's hilarious about it to me is that the person that I knew when I knew this person several years ago hated the government, like always went after these prosecutors and judges and like just hated the government. That's who he is really underneath it all. Like he hates the government just as much as I do. And the idea that he is defending Dan Owen and his bullshit corruption in those emails makes me laugh so hard because he's such a damn sellout. It's so gross. It's so gross. Like, it just makes me laugh. It's like, oh, you're going to defend Dan Owen, the prosecutor for the government, who's like freaking killing the sheriff. This would normally be a story that he would be like all over. Like, look at the corruption in this Levy County hellhole. And, but no, not now, because, he's getting some kind of kickback from these people to just be completely the opposite of who he's always been. And I mean, it's funny.
It says something, I think, well, it should say something to anybody. When you have an officer writing in a report, I reviewed the assistant state attorney, the email. They're talking about Dan Owens regarding this matter. It reads that he would caution against enforcing this injunction, talking about a protective order. I mean, you have him talking about that in email plus, again, he had the email asking an undersheriff, hey, would you look into this order of protection so we can see if this person committed perjury in putting it together? I mean, it's crazy. Never heard of that, but yeah, that would normally bring most people's ire out, and yet, so
And he's calling this a frivolous lawsuit. It's like, you know damn well that it's not frivolous. You know damn well the government can't do that. You know damn well that there's an absolute reason to go after him
well,
for that. And
it's also
I just have to laugh. It's like, this is so laughable and transparent. You're clearly on the take for these people.
well, it's so easy to stand up and say that the lawsuit it's a difficult one. I mean, it's so easy to try to place your bet on whether or not they'll play the immunity card and how that'll play. I mean, you don't know how that will
He's
play,
absolutely going to play the immunity card, and it
yeah.
will be a very difficult hurdle. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean it's not a worthwhile suit
Yeah.
to try, because the
Exactly.
government should always be held accountable. And I guarantee you that Dan Owen will never write that shit down again. I guarantee it. He got caught. And he's been embarrassed. This whole thing is very embarrassing to him. I got to find some time to write it up in PJ Media, because he definitely deserves a Google search result with his name on it showing that email to the world.
Now, what he's doing here is so crazy. So he goes through his normal spiel of fraud, blah, 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 blah. But then he goes to this. This is such the crazy statement here. He says the Florida bar, just a second, my freaking StreamYard's just freaked out on me.
Oh no.
It went
Well,
nuts
while
there.
you're fixing it, the chat is reminding you to take your pills.
Yeah, I think it's early. Yeah, it's still early.
Okay, it's early.
It's still early. I appreciate you, but it's still early for me. Yeah, they weigh on me, and they like make me tired and everything else too. So I have to time them correctly.
That makes sense.
But yeah, if I jump the shark on it, I'm like, oh my god, it's like an energy drain out. But he says the Florida bar is not going to do anything unless Shockett's fraud to procure a law license is reported in Gainesville, Orlando print media.
Isn't it weird how he doesn't use the word alleged? Alleged fraud? Bruce, you should probably be careful with that language, because there's never been any allegation of fraud or any finding of fraud against Randy Shockett. So I don't know why you don't use the word alleged. It's risky.
He's straight up soliciting people to, hey, get that print media. He's calling for print media on that.
He's calling for an attack on Shockett's character and license. It's a very targeted attack to ruin his business. That it's weird, because aren't you already in a lawsuit right now, Bruce, for trying to target and ruin someone's business?
It's just amazing to me. Like, again, he says it is so beyond the pale for somebody to have an opinion that he should not be a lawyer. And yet here we are. He's like,
here we are.
Yes, yeah. And he's like, well, if the bar is faced with public calls, so he is calling for people to mass report Randy.
Unbelievable.
Yes. I want public calls for an explanation of how someone can get a bar license with his pass. It will be pressured to look into and take action. So he's wanting not an investigation. He's wanting, quote unquote, taking action. What is taking action? Well, you can tell. You can tell exactly what he wants here. He doesn't want investigation. He wants loss of licensure.
And ruination. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to destroy Randy Shockett. The funny thing is, they're always accusing us of going after lawyers who help Lynette Preston, like that we destroy lawyers who go after her or who help her. That is not true at all. What is true is that we do like to make fun of bad lawyering. And so far she's had some doozies, but she's also had two lawyers that we really never talked about, because they just did lawyer stuff normally, professionally, like lawyers do. And that would be Josh Silverman and potentially criminal. We haven't said a damn word about either one of those people. We have not made fun of them. We have not, called them out, made them, because they didn't do anything. It's that easy. Only thing that we have done, we've not tried to ruin anybody's career here. We just laugh at lawyers who insist on ruining their own careers through this terrible behavior.
Even in the Fed 2 case, I mean, you've got a couple of lawyers there that we haven't talked about at all. I mean, we have the one that represents Bruce and the one that represents him. Yeah.
And MLS's lawyer appears to be just a real professional, good lawyer, which is exactly the kind of person you should hire when you get into a lawsuit. You need to hire someone that isn't going to embarrass you online for 8 hours a day. Because that's all that Bruce has done for Lynette. He has embarrassed his client at 5-6 hours at a time on live streams while he just defames everyone around this case. And it's just crazy. I've never seen a lawyer besides David Gingras behave this way. And he thinks it's defamatory to compare him to David Gingras, but their behavior is almost identical. The only difference is Bruce is worse. Bruce is actually worse because Bruce actually follows through with his threats to sue people, and David Gingras doesn't. David Gingras is just full of hot air.
It's bizarre. Between this, they also have this concerted effort, it looks like, going after Randy Shockett, because you don't just have this. We also, as I forgot to bring this up a while back, like you had somebody, I don't know, I'm going to assume that Paint Chips posted this, but again, I didn't see him actually post it. So give me 1 minute. He has his complaint. He put up a Florida bar complaint where they're basically telling him, kick rocks. Yeah, you made complaints, but well, unfortunately, here it is. So on September the 3rd, I keep forgetting about this thing, but it goes right with this because these landed in the month too. Like I said, he posted this, so you can see from it was for the email sent by Paint Chips, and this is to Mr. Paint Chips, and it talks about his correspondence. It's like, dear Mr. Paint Chips, your correspondence regarding the above named attorney has been referred to me for review. The Florida Bar is a licensing agency for attorneys admitted to practice law in Florida. It regulates attorney conduct, and if disciplinary action is warranted, it's taken against attorneys' law license to practice law. Well, he should know all about the bar, shouldn't he? Paint Chip should know exactly how all that works out.
Uh-huh.
But it is evident that the matters upon which your allegations are premised involve civil dispute and present questions of fact and law. However, the Florida law is not the correct forum in which to have such factual and legal issues adjudicated, and resolution of those issues must be left to the appropriate tribunal. The Supreme Court of Florida has ruled that the disciplinary process and proceedings are not to be used as a substitute for civil proceedings and remedies.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, nope, doesn't work there. So he tells them, like, hey, as for your questions about advertising, isn't that interesting too? Oh, I'd like to advertise with you all. By the way, will you help me destroy this man? That's what it sounds like.
Oh, God. Yeah, what advertising?
That's what it says.
What does that even mean? He wants to advertise with them? For what?
I guess.
He's disbarred.
Yeah. How does that work? Like, can you advertise with the bar being disbarred? What are you going to advertise
What
for?
are you going to... Maybe he's complaining about one of Randy's advertisements?
I have no idea. I don't know exactly what that's about. That's very strange. It's worked in there.
Uh-huh.
But in light of the foregoing, this file has been closed, effective again September the 2nd. This action does not preclude you from consulting a private attorney or exercising any legal remedies that might be available to you. In the event the proper tribunal enters a finding or order indicating misconduct, then you may resubmit. So, you see them, you see what they've been planning. They've been planning on just...
So actually, you know what that means? That means that someone could send a letter to the Florida bar now with the judge's orders, multiple of them, talking about the misconduct of Bruce Matskin that indicated his misconduct by not showing up for hearings, by writing emails, dear counsel, all of that stuff, because that seems to be over now. He's not in that. I guess it sounds like someone could write to the Florida bar and send them those orders and ask them to investigate Bruce Matskin and his pro hoc vice status, because there's been a ruling, there's been orders by the judge saying that he's committed misconduct. Interesting.
Well, it's so wild to see, like, this whole group of people, all they've done, they decided this pile-on was appropriate. And they've done this before. Like I said, I've been included in the email themselves. I've covered them here, you know. They keep doing it over and over and over again. It's wild stuff. But the bar's like, hey, yo, and you're right, too. You were totally right there. But pursuant to blah, 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 you know. They tell them all the fact. But again, with that, God, it's so messed up. I mean, these people, they don't mind their own store as it is. They go after other people and try to ruin other folks. It's amazing and crazy. It's crazy that it's allowed. Oh, you learn a lot about the system, how it, I'm going to say, doesn't work. And it's not a good picture. It's not a good picture at all. You know, it's slow. It eats the hell out of people's money. People like to weaponize that thing. They like to claim, you know, like they claim Jeremy Hales is weaponizing. And yet, God, how many lawsuits have we seen coming from these people? They scream Palomop, and yet, what do we say? Oh my gosh. So weird, man. This dodging, I like that thumbnail today, by the way. It was really funny. I enjoyed it.
It was funny.
I like the fact that that ChatGPT is starting to get those Jeremy Hales looks a little bit better too. You know, you should see all the weird little ones that it made of him. Like all the failed ones are really funny.
Regular fights with AI over its inability to do what I ask, which is frustrating.
Like they put they had a little short-armed one. Check.
Which is, I'm sure, is how the Skynet revolution thing is going to happen. Is that it's just going to piss. It's going to piss us off so bad for not following our directions on how to make these funny pictures we want that we'll start, you know, swearing at it, and then it just decides to go rogue. That's how that's going to happen. It's just because it couldn't get its act together to make us cartoons properly.
Man, it had one, like, after I had made mine, I kept messing with it, and I had another one that I really liked. It's like, oh my God, that one's really funny. Let me pull up a few of these, like I said.
Whoa, what is this? Hold on, check out this super chat. Why is YouTube saying your channel's live streams are malicious, explicit, or adult, and are now tripping my work's content filter? Chris, do you have a screenshot of that?
Yeah, why don't you send me a screenshot of that, please?
If you're getting a message like that, please.
But anybody, if it's YouTube, if it's coming up on YouTube, that would mean that it's YouTube, though. If it's a channeled into YouTube, but that would be something to contact them about. I'd send it over to my my multi-channel network. That means that they have, for some reason, one of this, the little security files that go in, they have not. They have not updated something, but that's bad. That actually could explain why there's been issues with.
Yeah, no, that's really bad. So if you have if anybody sees a message like that, please screenshot it and send it to Tug.
Yeah, send it over.
Or me. You can send it to me. But please send it over because that needs to be addressed with YouTube.
Yeah, I'll definitely get the MCN to check that out because that's crazy. That's weird. And thanks for noting that too. I mean, heck, if something like that comes up, and that's how we find out about it. You know,
right?
Man, I swear there is something wrong with it. Every time I go to share a screenshot, it takes it forever to filter through. Sometimes it doesn't filter at all. It's like it's not there.
You know what I just realized? So Kelly says she's gotten 2 of those messages in the last week. Rogue Mama said the same thing, that her work suddenly had declared our show malicious or adult. Something's going on.
That's got to be, though. That's probably, they've been changing stuff at YouTube. I bet you it's not on our side. I bet you it's YouTube. They didn't fill out one of their security kernels right, or they let something lapse. Because it's not us. It's probably their whole freaking site.
But it's happening at people's work. So I'm thinking it's their firewall. Something, yeah, like you said, like a security something. Well, anyway, when you guys get those screenshots, please send them to us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to refresh real quick. Just give me a minute. I cannot pull up the screenshots I want to pull up.
That's weird.
Well, it does this a lot. It's been a real problem.
StreamYard's been messing with things. Okay. All right. Everybody calm down. Tug will be back shortly. Have you guys been following my trial coverage? I know a bunch of you are not watching my trial coverage for the Tim's trial because I don't see you there. You should be. It's really good, and we're doing it every day. And tomorrow we're doing the detective in the case, and I heard it's going to be epic. So you guys should show up for that. I'm starting at 9 a.m. Come on and see me. He's back.
Man.
Are the screenshots, are they working now?
No, I can pull up the case file, but I can't pull up an individual screenshot. I'm serious. It's like it's not there. It's
Are you doing share image?
Yeah. Like how many images I share? It's like they know how to do that for sure.
That's weird. No, but I mean, are you using the share screen function, but instead of screen using share image?
Yeah, I've tried it. There's two ways you could share something. I've tried sharing anything on too. It's like the image is not there at all.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'll see if it comes up.
Do you want to send? You can send it to me, and I can try on this end.
Shit, that takes me off. Yeah, it's just not there. It's so bizarre. Actually, I'm going to see if it filters in for some reason. It shows what's weird is it shows a screenshot that is not there. It's like it cached a screenshot. It's one of
That's weird.
Yeah. It's, I've noticed it. Remember how like in other shows, I've been like, I've got to refresh and do this. Yep. Nope. So I don't know what's up with that. It's something where they change. I swear, man. These freaking sites, they keep changing things. Yep. It's
LOL, maybe not. She says, get squunched if you're not watching the Tim's trial. You'd have to know. You'd have to be watching to know what squunched means. There's the squunching, the great squunching. You're missing out on all the fun jokes. And bingo. We have an epic bingo going. It's the biggest bingo card I've ever had. It's really fun.
Oh, well, I'll see if that pulls up a little bit. I'm going to pull up the Dave stuff.
Okay. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is actually pretty good stuff. I was going to show you some thumbnails that were coming up with this. Like I said, it will not lock onto them. It's like it's not there. It's done this a few times now. When they've changed something, it's effective. I've never had a problem like that before, but now I have it repeatedly. And sometimes it'll fix and sometimes it won't. And today it will not. I'm glad it's not the entirety of the show.
Yeah, right.
That's a real freaking problem. That's a real problem that pisses me off, Okay, so let's see. Now we have a very interesting an add-on. Now this add-on, the reason that it's interesting is because it makes one hell of a case about somebody dodging subpoenas. And my, oh my, we know they have too. Actually, there's another thing. I was reading through this, and I think there's another thing it could add as well. If they needed even more. There's actually something else that wasn't here too, which is funny. But this is quite a bit. I mean, Randy lays out a very good case for why we have a motion for substitution. I mean, I think it's a really good one in this. One of the things. I heard
somebody called Dave Touch-a-Dork today, and I laughed so hard. Touch-a-Dork? Dave Touch-a-Dork?
Touch-a-Dork.
That was really funny. I can't remember who said it. Maybe it was Shizzy, but it was really funny. Dave Touch-a-Dork. Oh,
I thought you said touch a door. I thought that was funny too, about dodging service and touch a door. Why don't you get in there and touch a door, boy?
Touch-a-dorks.
Well, what's funny, okay, so there was a video the other day, like he threw a fit about too. He threw a fit about it on 2L channel. He went out and talked about it, and he made it was on that, what's his name, Huggy Bear's channel, and I can't think of the lady that made the video. I can't think of her name right off the bat, but it talks about Dave quite a bit. And
Cal, isn't her name Cal? I think it's Cal, something like that.
I don't remember, but he gets mad about it because there's a she said something about, considering the allegations that Lynette stated about John Cook. They say, I'm going to say there's a certain very unflattering term. And the weird thing is, Dave doesn't seem to like that term at all. He said that John Cook should look into taking action against this YouTuber for making statements like that about him. And, again, he's talking about suing. And I thought, well, that's interesting, considering all of them stated, and we called this out at the time, they all stated that if there were signs that had gone up around, say, Levy County or an Otter Creek about a Jeremy Hale, they should have just ignored that stuff. They'd be okay with it. And yet, when you hear that and their name gets associated with it on a platform, not even in the real world where they live, but if that kind of thing gets associated with them online, they want to sue people about it. Huh. That's strange, isn't it?
Yes.
So all that stuff about how they're okay with being called things, they would have just let it go. Apparently that's not true. Strange. So I appreciate that they made the case that Hales had been making, for a lawsuit. He was like, this stuff is something I don't want connected to me. And again, I'm not saying the same context or anything. I'm just saying the way that he wanted to perceive it. It's calling John Cook, the certain thing. And
right.
He wanted to perceive that with that he's being called an enabler of that. And he thinks that's litigation worthy. But again, someone putting out signs calling you all that stuff, that's not litigation.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's amazing stuff. So today we have motion for substitution service processed by email. Now, this is something that we have talked about repeatedly, in the fact that these people go out and they brag about getting anything for cases. They talk about how they know the case exists. They know that there are people trying to serve them. They have all of this stuff. When they talk about it, they're making admission that this stuff exists. And this is like, hey, let us substitute a way of service then, since they refuse to answer the door, but they're saying that they know about it. So come now. Again, this will be Jeremy, Elephant Shoes, by and through. I need a funny name for mine. Maybe I should call my company Hat Rack LLC.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, well, I'm always like, welcome to the Hat Rack, baby.
Yeah, I like it.
Mine through, undersigned, counsel, pursuant to Rule F-E. Right, F. I said F or E. I'm teaching my kid how to read and spell, and I'm like, that's not an F, that's a 4. Shit. Oops. Of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. That's my grade for that reading lesson. It was an F. Hereby respectfully moves this court to authorize substitute service of process by mail upon David Teschendorf, who is evading service of process. It is very provable he is evading, and which is amazing. It's the only thing you can inactively evade. You know what I mean? You can actively evade it by being inactive. Just don't get up off the couch. Just eat that 14th burrito. You can evade it.
It's hard to believe he can evade anything the size of him.
Oh, well, that's the way you do it. I mean, it is one thing that since this is this is the only quote unquote contact sport that doesn't involve athleticism. So, number one, plaintiff filed the initial complaint naming Taschendorf in this action February 23rd. Amazing, isn't it, that this stuff has been going on? We're talking Fed 2, just the service portion and getting everything aligned since February. Isn't that crazy?
It is. It's been going on for a very long time.
Forever. All right, you want to read?
Sure. Plaintiffs made diligent and repeated attempts to serve ThATuMBRELLAgUy with the summons and initial complaint, with 4 initial attempts being made at a location known to belong to ThATuMBRELLAgUy by State Process Service Inc. in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Holy cow, I sued Wauwatosa successfully, by the way. They had to pay me money. At each attempt, I didn't realize that he was in Wauwatosa. That's funny. At each attempt, there was no answer, despite process server cards being left. See Exhibit 1. After that, private investigative services were engaged in this matter, and 3 other locations were located for ThATuMBRELLAgUy, who on his YouTube channel and on Defendant Lee's YouTube channel just yesterday can be seen taunting Hales that he, ThATuMBRELLAgUy, has not been served, even though he also stated that he wants to be part of this litigation on ThATuMBRELLAgUy's own YouTube channel. Yeah, how they're so stupid. They're so stupid.
Yeah, that's the same thing with paint ships. with
they're
him.
admitting they know. They're admitting that they know
Yeah.
someone's trying to serve them. And you can't do that and not be found to be avoiding service. It's going to go the exact same way that Robbie went. Robbie made a big mistake. He let everybody know he knew that they were trying to serve him, and he was actively avoiding it.
I mean, yeah, you don't admit this kind of thing. At first, it was interesting because for a little bit, Dave was quiet about all of that, and then he started to get really, really vocal about knowledge that I thought he was going to go a different route. Just for a minute, I thought, man, he's going to go a different route than these guys. It'll be interesting to see the approach off of that one. He's going to keep his mouth shut, but no, of course he didn't. It was just amazing. I gave him way too much credit on that one. I thought for a minute there he was going to be quiet about it.
All right, let's see. In late June 2025, a resident at a location known to belong to ThATuMBRELLAgUy told the process server that ThATuMBRELLAgUy does not live there, and then quickly closed the door. And then this is the process server statement. I received the within process on June 25, and that after due and diligent effort, I've been unable to serve said person. The following itemization of the dates and times and attempts to details the efforts required to effect the service. Attempted at 3:42 p.m. Results, doesn't live there per tenant, closed door before he would give name.
Yeah. So, that's been the game too. Now, I guess it's okay to say this now. Dave, the weird thing about it, you do know how they found your house, right? They do know how you found that, and then you denied it was there. It wasn't some malicious, horrible doxing thing. It was the fact that you decided to take a driving tour, and you showcased people exactly the area you lived in, and you led back to where you lived. So, making the claim that you don't live there, it's really interesting because it was a very short span of time where he's gone from I do live there to I don't. So I mean, that's where that information it came from, because I saw multiple people acknowledge that existed. It wasn't just like one person that ran across it. It's the same thing that happened with Ray. People weren't paying attention to Ray on different platforms. They weren't paying attention to Stupid Dave. And then when Stupid Dave, he got loud enough and crazy enough about it, people looked at his when he started going on and being around all that 2L madness, when he decided that he wanted to be part of that platform, then it knocked me out of here. I was like, son of a bitch.
It's all right, because every time you leave the show tonight, I'm just taking the opportunity to shame people for not being at my trial coverage in the morning. So
It's
don't
just
worry.
so funny that it relinked. I was like, what in the hell? All right, let's go back there. I've got to set this up. So give me a second with it. I swear it redirected, and then it was like, never.
Well, of course, the chat is blaming me for touching the buttons. I haven't touched
No,
anything.
it's got live links in
It
the
wasn't me.
thing. And when I hit the link, when I scanned over, it hit the thing.
Oh, instead of opening it in a new tab, it opened it in the tab you're in.
Yeah, but it knocked me out when it did it.
Yeah,
so,
that's
why. See the link here?
Uh-huh.
But so it just knocked me out. Usually it won't knock you off the thing. It might lag you out or something, but it actually knocked me out of here.
That's funny.
It was like, never. So, on August 15th, 2025, Teschendorf, upon being advised that a request to waive service was being sent to him, posted a video on his own YouTube channel where he stated, quote, plaintiff just wants to serve Dave with court papers, but here's where the law is clear. Refusing to waive service is not evading service. Under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 4D, a defendant has the right to decline a waiver and require formal service. There's no penalty for exercising that right beyond possibly paying the cost of service. That's it. Well, he commented on that's the problem, Dave. Look, you admitted that this is all going on. You admitted knowledge of the lawsuit. You admitted that you received this asking for a waiver of service. When you talk about it, that admission, that's the problem, man. That's everything every one of them did in this. That has been their absolute problem. They admitted that they knew that something existed, and yet. So then they have, yeah. So, I mean, they're like, well, that right there, that's how you get served. That's how you get sued, So then you have another one here noting that between August 13th and September 8th, 3 additional attempts were made to personally serve Dave here, and with each attempt failing and resulting in no answer. Now, the process server assigned by a Milwaukee County Sheriff. So here's our process server, by the way, And look at this. This is what they concluded with their statement, now that's,
and they work for the sheriff's office.
Yeah. So this isn't some they're not able to just go in and blame some random person with that, that to me, that's
subject is avoiding per webcast. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's wild that they, that they go in and they make that statement there. I'm looking at it. I can't believe, you set it out and you make it so clear. You make their point for them. You make it very simple. God. Wow. There's other. Oh man, I'm looking at the other, the exhibit, because I was looking at that exhibit.
Yeah. What's exhibit 3?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to see. Gosh, there's a bunch of interesting exhibits. We'll have to pull up a couple of those for sure. So due to the above, plaintiff has reason to believe that Teschendorf is deliberately evading service of process. And yes, I mean, that's what I would probably draw from that.
Plaintiff has knowledge that Teschendorf regularly uses the email address here for business and personal communications, as evidenced by Teschendorf's YouTube page, which states all of these things, how to contact him, how to donate to him, and it says email us at the address they used. Email recently sent to the present by co-defendant Mr. Bonebreak Jr., a copy being attached here too as Exhibit 4. 3, requests for waiver of service pursuant, scroll.
Yeah, looking for that.
Pursuant to federal rules of civil procedure were emailed and sent via USPS priority mail to Teschendorf. The email was sent to that email address and was not rejected. See Exhibit 5. Teschendorf was thus advised in advance via this email of what was being sent to him, and the result was that the USPS mail was returned to plaintiff's attorney marked refused. See Exhibit 6. Federal rules permit service of process on an individual by following state law for serving a summons in an action brought in courts of general jurisdiction in the state where the district court is located or where service is made.
This is interesting stuff. I mean, when they've got, like, again, they have an email where they have Ray mailing. You know, he's mailing to them, and he's being insulting in it too.
It's funny.
Or actually, is that? Yeah, it's it first. What a chain there! It has paint chips writing Jeremy, and he's like, "You really are pathological." And then there's other stuff that's redacted there, and then you have Ray responding. You know, we've seen that before. By the way, we've seen that action before. Remember, you remember when Darth Touch wrote you and was talking about the revenge prawn?
Oh, yeah.
And Ray was like, "I'll check that out. Thanks."
Yep.
So, this is the same thing. He comments where he's tagged into this. He's like, "Wow." I mean, they've got the CC on everything. You know, it tags in every time from these people. They tag in, of course, Jeremy and Randy, but then they tag in 2L, Bruce, Stupa, and Volpe along with paint chips. So, you know, by its own, they never thought it would be used against them for this. You know what I mean? That's fascinating to me. You know, they think that the addition there. I mean, it shows what the game they've been playing, though. It absolutely makes it transparent. So, both Florida and Wisconsin law, they permit substitute service when a defendant is evading service of process. I mean, this has already been discussed. We've already seen an example of this in an order, you know. So, if it's already been decided on one time by the judge, you would think the judge, again, will probably decide the same damn thing. So federal courts have the authority to order alternative means of service that are reasonably calculated to provide notice to the defendant. Right there. I mean, again, Dave, when you've been written and you admit that this stuff is coming to you. Yeah, so courts have consistently upheld email service as meeting due process requirements when it's demonstrated that the method is likely to reach the defendant. For example, Lynn, they give a case here. The court authorized email service after determining that it was a reliable means of delivering the complaint and summons. And then it was reasonably calculated to give defendant notice and an opportunity to respond. Similarly, here's another case as well, talking about that. The court emphasized that email service must be reasonably calculated to apprise the defendant of the action and afford an opportunity to present objections, provided it is not prohibited by international agreement and is authorized by the court. Now, service by email satisfies constitutional due process requirements because it is reasonably calculated under the above circumstances to apprise the defendant of the pendency of the action and afford an opportunity to present objections. So, yeah, again, they've held that up consistently, which we have seen noted on before. It makes sense.
Yep. Service by email is particularly appropriate in this case because, one, Teschendorf regularly uses the email address shown here. Previous communications with Teschendorf at this email address have been successful. Teschendorf has demonstrated awareness of this pending litigation by his own videos broadcasted on his YouTube channel. Dumbass. And traditional methods of service have been unsuccessful due to Teschendorf's evasion. Wherefore, what an idiot.
We talked about that. Like, I'd been waiting on this to be noted in something because, you know, we had discussed amongst ourselves, myself and Megan, we had talked about, we were like, they're talking about this. So, you know, that's probably going to end up in some kind of filing, you know, I mean,
Uh-huh.
they're discussing it openly, and Hale's, outside of anything, Hales has been dedicated to making sure that, you know, when these people, they screw up, when they admit things live, when they do all this craziness, he's gotten copies of it. You know, he's made sure that he's used their own stupidity against them, and
And the
that's what.
weird part is that we have tried to tell them that these things are going to get them served. And you guys never have to worry that we're tipping them off or anything. They're too stupid to take our advice. We always
Well,
give people good advice. We do. Even people we don't like, we give them good advice, but they're too stupid to take it.
we try. You know, I
We do
figure
try.
everybody, you know, it's a few things you try to live by, like, hey, everybody should have a lawyer. You know, again, some people do think, oh, well, don't tell them to get a lawyer. Yeah, they should. They really should. I realize it's comical when they don't, but everybody should get a lawyer. They also should not be dependent on services provided by lawyers. Well, that you have to question. See, in other cases, one of the things you learn, one of the reasons I talk about lawyers that, you know, are involved in other litigation or whatever, who do they serve in this? You know, one of the questions we found, and there were 3 different cases I've covered, but again, this came up in a debt trial. You know, always the public saw this come up. There was a question of who exactly is served by a lawyer. You know, you had the insurance companies. When the insurance companies, when they were sued, that was discussed at length, and I thought it was a really interesting discussion there. You know, because it talks about that's why you would want to get your own lawyer that's free and clear of this stuff. You don't want somebody that might, I don't know, feed you to the other side of a lawsuit, or put themselves in a position where they themselves, they may prevail on something, but you may not. You notice again, all these other folks, that's one thing they've done right off from go. The lawyers lawyered up. The only people not carrying lawyers are the
Unbelievable.
non-lawyers.
I find that so heinous. I find it so negligent of the attorney involved who, you know, has not, who for one left his client in a lurch, but then lawyers up himself, but she doesn't have one. Like, and what is he not advising her to get one? Because that's what he should be doing. I don't know. I don't know what he's told her, but he should
They should
be getting
advise
her.
all these people, though. You know,
Yeah.
we know they're in communication together, and like the basic, you should go out and get proper representation.
And I mean,
Like
if
that.
he's telling them, oh, don't worry about it, I can help you, then why did he get a lawyer? Has anybody
Yeah.
asked him why did he get if he's such a super lawyer and he can help all of you pro se behind the scenes, why isn't he doing it pro se himself? You really need to ask that question. You need to think very critically about this and find out why Bruce hired a lawyer for himself, but maybe has encouraged you guys not to do so.
I mean, Lord, if that is the case, they've been told, hey, don't get a lawyer, don't worry about it. Like, do this, that, or the other. Yeah, again, yeah, you have to ask, like, is that really in your best interest? You know, you shouldn't be getting legal advice. You should turn to somebody outside of litigation and see what they tell you to do. The first thing they tell you to do is shut up.
Yeah,
And
shut up and get a lawyer. Shut up and lawyer up. That is
yep,
the only sane advice when you're in this situation. Shut up and lawyer up.
that should have been like straight up. There we go. Let's see. Oh, I'm redacting everything real quick. I redacted all the other. There's a lot of redactions in some of these. You know, like some of them involve mailings and everything else. So I'm just making sure. God, it is funny though. Anytime you look at their emails where they're all together, you have all of this. Oh, it's just so stupid. Let's see. I'm going to pull up again, we finished this one. So let's pull up again. The first one is just, and affidavit of non-service. And we've seen those before if people, it's still worth looking at. But if you've never seen one, you know, you can see all the attempts here. So you can see the multiple attempts, you know, they try, they hope to get them and it doesn't work out. Okay. Then in the second one, they have yet another one. Give me a minute here. God. It's all this stuff, man. They have a second one. Good Lord. God, there's so many documents here. So the second one, again, that notes that they've tried again. It's not served, or they have tried repeatedly at what is noted as the wrong address too. So redactions, here's the thing. We're told this isn't their address at all. So, you know, or really do you need to redact it? I don't know. You know, okay, let me see. There's, God, there's so many of these, you know, and it really makes the case for non-service being made. Let me another one. Good Lord, man. People always ask, like, what are all the exhibits on this? You know, that's why I try to pull them all up. That way you can see. How
Yeah, I kind of scanned some of them. I just didn't look at all of them very closely.
Yeah, you can see here's the subject is avoiding per webcast. So you can see you know, this is the again, the person attached to it. Being duly sworn, I'm an adult resident of Wisconsin, not a party to the legal action to which this is attached. I further swear I was not able to serve the below listed document. Name party. So they have the second amended complaint for damages. That's what they're trying to serve. So they go through. You can see multiple attempts. Not home, left card. No answer, left card. No answer. And then final, again, on 9/8, they have the listing for it. And they're like, subject is avoiding per webcast. So that's straight up. They're telling them, hey, you know, that's, again, that's somebody attached by the sheriff's office. So they're saying, you told on yourself. You did. And so for the email, it's kind of interesting to see this, because this is how they end up causing themselves problems. Well, shit, there's another email. God, there's so many email addresses. Every time they mail something, they dump like it's just this collection of freaking email addresses. They're all over it, you know. And I would just blur out the whole to section, but then you can't tell who it's to, you know. So I try to leave the names in, but my God, there's just so many of them. All right, here, let me redact that. I missed one, so I'm redacting it out real quick. Again, you know, the redactions too are just trying for nicety. You do not have to redact. These are public freaking documents. But
right, we do it also because YouTube's terms of service also sometimes can get you if there's an address on there and they don't know that it's a public document. It's just too much to deal with. Like trying to explain to them, no, this is not, you know, this is a public record. Like it's too much.
Now. That's with AI these days, though. I mean, you can talk.
I've been redacting courthouse addresses just in case the robot thinks it's somebody's private address. I mean, it's kind of insane, but I just redact as many of them as I
also show the whole document. So if I have to dispute it, and that's one of the reasons I try to roll up and, you know, show that it's like here, it's connected to a case, you know. So
right.
But you can see all of the people. It's always this way. You notice they've got the whole gang here. You had Randy under, but you have Jeremy and Randy. They always put in, but then of course they got 2L, BBB, Stupa, and there's the paint chips and crew, because here's paint chips and here's crewmate. So you had some long letter written to Jeremy. Remember they said they weren't writing Jeremy all the time too. Yeah, and they've been doing it for months. They write all. We've seen it between the two of them, Lord. But you have Ray commenting on this, which I thought was an interesting addition, because remember, Ray's not associated with all these people, right?
Yeah. Well,
That's what he said. You know, he said
Oh,
he's
that's what he said, but
yeah.
he's always the first one to comment on everything.
So let me pull up these here. All right. Sorry, I'm gonna pull this here. So you have you know, again, you have a redacted email, but he's like writing to Jeremy, and he's telling him, Jeremy, you're pathological, and you can, you know, the subject, by the way, was "Hey ignoramus." So there,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, of course.
He thinks
So I
he's
gotta
so
go with that.
funny.
Yeah, but then you got all these people. With Jeremy, it doesn't matter because Jeremy is freaking, you know, his business email out there. It's not a problem. But the others, you see them all. They're all collected there. And you see
Yeah.
Ray right here, the guy who is supposedly not part of the conspiracy.
Uh-huh.
He's on every document, and I mean, they're the ones writing it. It's not them incidentally including people, you know. They like to include some of us, you know, like myself or you or whomever. They like to include us to, I think it's supposed to try to cover their butts. What's funny though is it really invites us to the game. You know, they've invited us so many times to cover stuff that it's stupid of them. Oh God, there's so many more redactions. There's another one I missed. Yeah, here's so the next one that's on here. There's only two more. One of them is an actual email or a regular mail that has been returned, and the other one is showcasing where they wrote and told them. Here, let me pull this up. God, I hate all these redactions. Let's see. So you're telling them that with the attachments, you can see them trying to attach everything for the case to it, you know, plus they have FedEx shipping as well. And it's telling Dave, hey, you know, dear Dave, please see attached, which is also being sent to you via US first class mail. So the package that's going to be sent, they also sent it to his business here. So when he's talking about things, you know, he's been commenting, telling them, yeah, I'm aware of the case. I know everything. This is his business email. That's where they has a problem there. And on top of it, again, they did mail him a package, and it was just straight up returned to sender. So they have.
Well, I'm going to put on my court prognosticator avatar because I have a prognostication coming up. I feel it coming. It's looking into my crystal ball, and I feel it's coming that Dave Teschendorf will be served this week, maybe early next week, but I'm feeling it's going to happen either by Friday, by tomorrow, or before Wednesday. That's my official prognostication for how this is going to go.
Wait, what?
What?
Maybe not. I was reading the super chat there. Said with Max Lab. Wait a second, I just figured something out. LP's hidden lawyer that's writing is.
I doubt it, because then Bruce would have to pay him. I doubt that.
Why? I'm curious why you say that. Why do you think that that is? Did you?
And if you ask me, I think that when Bruce gets himself a lawyer, he still does most of the work. He works out some kind of deal, you know, like he does, like we've seen in other cases, like, you know, that was in front of the bar and whatnot, where he works out a deal where I just need your name on the thing, but I'll do all the filings, etc.
It's kind of wild stuff, you know. I mean, let's see. We have to explain why you think that, Max. I'm curious. You know.
I've got another image coming to me about my prediction. I see a fat man crying. That's right. Yes, he's crying. He's crying hard. A fat man is crying and hyperventilating.
Well, my StreamYards doesn't work. Oh, you meant Dave. My bad.
Not you.
Look at Jeremy's little short arms in this one.
Oh he's got like Tyrannosaurus Rex arms.
Yeah, I love it. I was like, that's hilarious. I thought that one was funny. These are the ones that look. It finally showed up. So I tried to share this, like when we started talking about it right back when, and it finally pulled
Well, that's
up.
the one that wouldn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, these
Weird.
are that. So it did. I like. I liked that one. I thought that one was actually pretty funny. Yeah, but for some reason, like I told it, I want a paper that's there and it says you're being sued, and it was like, I'm going to put the words here. I was like, no. And I also was trying to figure out how to put a peephole with a large shadow. And it was separating the two. And it was like, he looks naked there. I don't really want
to. Oh, God, don't make me think about that dude naked.
I was
What's
just like,
wrong with you? Why are you like this? I'm going to have
Why is ChatGPT got to go to the weirdest, like, portions with it?
Now I'm gonna have nightmares.
Jeremy's like, oh my God, what's that? I love that. I love that I finally got it through cartoon. It took me a long time to get stuff that looked like him. I mean, it took a lot of trial and effort because it would make his facial expressions. He would look like God. It just looks so bizarre. Well, like make him laugh. He looked like a super villain. I was like, that's not what I was going for. It had a creepy one too. Check this one out. I'm going to show you this one. This one is just. I thought this
Rob, clarifying, Bruce is lawyered up for Fed 2. That's the point. Is that he did. Yeah. He got a lawyer, but he didn't advise, at least to my knowledge, didn't advise any of these other weirdos to get lawyers. Why? Is he advising them behind the scenes and telling them they don't need a lawyer when he got one himself? That's very hypocritical.
Well, they should be advised. Yeah, regardless, they should be lawyered up because the only people that have lawyered up are lawyers. That's the kicker. I mean, everybody that's non-lawyer is sitting out there, and again, you can think what you want about the lawyer, but they at least have some baseline for representing themselves. If anybody were going to be pro se, you would think, well, lawyer, but no, lawyers know better.
Yeah, they
know
better.
Not to do that.
Any lawyer, by the way, any lawyer ever advising you to go pro se is a bad lawyer. That's a bad lawyer, because a lawyer who has himself as a client is a fool. That is a very well-known, or has a fool for a client. A lawyer who represents himself has a fool for a client. That's the saying. That is very well known. And any judge, any law professor will tell you, you do not want to go into court without a lawyer.
I was like, that's not what I'm trying for. He didn't open the door. Get there.
That one is scary.
It's like creepy. I
don't like the implications of that.
That's menacing.
That makes Jeremy Hales look entirely too.
It looks like he's scared. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah, he looks entirely too vulnerable in that one. I don't like it. It looks like he's about to disappear. Looks like like Dave's about to eat him is what it looks like.
I was thinking about sending in that marriage license, by the way. We were talking about the other day.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about completing that, but
you probably should.
Yeah, I know. I know. It is my first,
And then we can cover the divorce.
Of course, that'd be amazing. I could perform this service for the marriage, and then I could refer one of my friends for the divorce. That's amazing. It's a hell of a racket, actually.
A hell of a racket. Yep.
Yeah. They'd be like, I thought it was an online thing. No. But I know a person that could represent you.
Yep.
He likes to represent other people. His name is never mind. I'm gonna look at this list here of different cases that have somehow spawned off of all of this stuff. By the way, this what's this? You, Melissa, if I'm correct. Again, if it was someone else, I apologize. I think that's who it came from, but this looks like one of the lists there. But it's interesting because the way they're stacked up. You have Ohio, You have the way that it's come together for contempt of, and
Uh-huh.
contempt coming soon. So you can see the players like lawyer wise, and then
Uh-huh.
you have lawyers. I like the way this was set up. You have
Yep.
notes like Sean quit, that
Yep.
he decided to bounce out of it. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Again, with lawyers, you're not making fun of. This is what Bruce can't get. You're not necessarily making fun of the lawyer. You get to that point sometimes because you're making fun of their idiot actions, and as they open the door and they tell you what's appropriate in there. When they start mocking, he started mocking Jeremy for being bald. He started mocking him for the other. Okay, so appearances are okay. That's cool. That's totally on board. Okay. He kept talking about his hair and this and that, and I was like, okay, well, if you want to make fun of a guy's hair and you want to, then I guess you're okay with appearance jokes. That's cool.
Yeah,
So
I guess the nose jokes then are fine.
Mhm. And beyond that, I mean, work product, come on. Your work product, really? You think your work product is something that people shouldn't be able to talk about? Because that is very well established and protected. We are allowed to talk about public cases, that's for sure. But you have your Florida injunction here. You can see your players with it. You had Mark Feather, Randy, Doreen, and it notes again how that pops off. Ultimately LP drops out of there. So we have our injunction, we have our order of protection, we have our attempt on an order of protection, and this just goes through. It goes through everything. It actually lists. I always, since they bring up the case all the time, talking about the parent, or the adoption, everything. They love to bring that up. They added that into the thing as well. I thought that was actually pretty good because I always forget to add that. They talk about it all the time. They put it in every filing, so it might as well. It's not attached to Hales, but it is attached to Preston. So if we're talking about things that have popped off of Preston, they bring up. God, look at it all. I mean, when you put it all together, it's so crazy to see.
Mm-hmm.
And they want you to forget how many of these are attached to. I saw this. Judge the dumbass removed. It made me laugh there, but they want you to forget how many of these are not Jeremy Hales related. They are
Right.
either, they're. I mean, how many of them have they brought? When we're looking at litigation by them. Again, we're not counting countersuit. If we go in and we count all the countersuits too, look at what they've tried to throw in. But on their own, I mean, Lynette, protective order, 2 cases off with Stark. Now we have Bruce popping off a case. They keep threatening other cases. They were saying they were going to pop off in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
You have John Cook weirdly signaling that he's going to have a case with Larry.
Yeah, like what is their heart on with Larry? It's so weird.
I thought that was a weird one, period, because
Of all the people to go after, Larry just I don't get it. He hasn't done much on this case. I mean,
motivated,
yeah, motivate. Keep doing it. Keep motivating him, because if he does decide to turn both barrels onto him, it'll be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, you had Cook here. He was actually trying to talk to only me through this. That was kind of funny too. I'm going to pull up 3 shots on this, but this was during a discussion about the Larry lawsuit with Bruce. And he said, I don't have a dog in this fight with Larry, but we will soon have a dog in the fight against Larry. Wow. They think they're going to be, again, where's the money coming from for you to have more litigation? So you're going to try to bring another lawsuit against Larry Foreman?
When did
that
he
what you're
post
doing?
this? Was this before or after Bruce's lawsuit? Because maybe
This
he
is
meant.
this is comment with Larry's lawsuit. This is it being covered.
I
So this
can't
is being
imagine
talked
what
about.
John Cook thinks, what cause of action
He
he
thinks they're
thinks
going
he
to
has
sue
against
everybody.
Larry.
He thinks he's going to be able to somehow sue everybody, and it's so
But they
strange.
need $40 for a hot plate.
Yeah. Well, they're living in they've got this imagined cases. They're gonna present. They think that people are going to fund. They're going to go forward. They're going to keep going. And again, if they learned anything, they should have learned the lesson of when you pay someone like, look what they paid Stark. Stark, they paid a fee, like a set fee. What did you get with the set fee?
Not much.
Yeah, you need a real lawyer, and a real lawyer costs real money. You get into exorbitant fee, and nobody is going to back Cook or Preston for lawsuits. Right now, they're living in a 15 by 20 shed.
And they've
have
lost all their donors.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa's not going to be able to raise any more money for them because the money never goes to what is said it's going to go for.
I don't even know if they're motivated to raise money, even if they were. I mean, the first question would be, are they motivated to help them raise any money ever? Yeah, but if they were, who would be stupid enough to freaking, after everything that has gone on, continue to open their pockets to these people? But he thinks that's going to happen, and that will bring joy to my heart. Don't focus on your situations currently, man. Focus on trying to go after those people online. Blame them for where you are in life. Like that's really going to fix things, right?
Mm-hmm.
It amazes me. Don't blame the people that kept the money that would get you out of the shed, by the way. Don't blame them. Now, that would be a bridge too far. Blame people like Larry Foreman, because God forbid he talked about a case that you were involved in. And then people try to be kind. Well, are you fucking kidding me? These people. Oh, Lord. That is such a joke. Pretended. By the way, we're very nice people. You also had some discussion back and forth that was kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of interesting because at first Cook was like, you know what? I'll answer no questions from you, talking about like an only me there. As I told you before, I tried to ask questions and I was like, your page, what? Okay. You must be talking about, content. But then it's like, well, somebody just contacted me and said I should answer only me. You can make contact with me. A lot of people have my email. If you choose not to, there's nothing I can do. Except, of course, tell you thank you. Yeah, John Cook talked a lot of shit about only me too. These people, now they want more money from you. And the guy was like, you guys need to go to the proper authorities about the money. He was very clear about it. What a joke, man. What a joke.
I mean, if the chat has been having a conversation related to why Larry, and I think it's interesting. The chat thinks that they think Larry is the weak link and that he will settle. If they think that about Larry, they don't know Larry.
No, he will not.
Larry is not. If you think Larry is every bit as stubborn as Jeremy Hales when it comes to this, Larry is not going to settle, and he's a lawyer. What do you,
Larry's profession, like they're going after his ability to speak. First of all, now again, they may be stating before. Maybe Bruce thinks he's a weak link, but he learned that that's not true. He's already had him in a lawsuit before in the thumbnail litigation. And perhaps the way that came, again, I personally think that the reason he's obsessed with Larry is because Larry told him no. I think that it just boiled down to that.
Yes, and Larry made him look stupid. And but that was completely, it was instigated by Bruce. Larry wasn't going to say anything about him, and he just politely declined to have him on the show. And then Bruce decided to go on an all-out war and sue him.
Yeah.
When that happened, Larry took the gloves off, and he did look into his mac and cheese thing, and he did do videos on it, and he showed people what a joke it was. And he humiliated him. Rightly so. Bruce had it coming. But that's the kind of thing that this guy can never forgive, because he has an ego problem. And unfortunately, Bruce, unfortunately for you, Bruce, you don't like to be humiliated, but it is your lot in life, because you keep embarrassing yourself everywhere you go. You are going to get humiliated for, from here till the end of eternity, because you just can't stop yourself.
What's amazing about that lawsuit, again, we've been looking, at everything that's attached to it. And there's so much stuff. Either Bruce's best case scenario, Bruce has done many of the same things, many of them, or stuff that was stated comes from Bruce's own actions. You can take something and be like, well, this is where this act, like, again, the jail thing, like, again, commentary on Bruce. Well, Bruce thought that himself. He filed that in court. It's going to be a real difficult one. And then, the kicker, the real topping on that proverbial cake is the fact that things like scumbag, again, those are quoting Bruce. If it's a quotation about another lawyer and they tried to say, nope, that's actually Larry talking about him, whoopsie, because that's twofold. For one, like you said, that's a little bit of a fraud on the core, but on top of that, that's also admitting the thing you said was so terrible that you would sue. You actually are being quoted doing that to someone else.
Yeah, he's gonna look like such an asshole when Larry files his response. It's going to be laughable, and the judge is going to laugh it out of court. This guy is fooling himself. There is so much evidence against Bruce that he not only asked for this, but wanted it, encouraged it, begged people to cover this, begged people to talk about him. You don't get to do that and then turn around and sue people for doing exactly what you asked for.
Well, he tried to play the private. I think I'll talk about, like, this weekend. I'm going to pull up a few documents with Bruce's stuff, because I think, like, that really gets into it. There's a lot of people that will see this because it has Larry Foreman attached to it. They won't know the background. They won't know anything that happened. They will just see the allegations. So, that's the thing. They always talk about YouTube content, this and that. Well, he's established, and they filed a lawsuit against YouTuber that looks like YouTube content. Strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but anyway, all right. I think I'm going to hit super chats now. I know it's a little early, but I got a big doctor appointment tomorrow, so I'm gonna start finishing it up. Are you gonna hang, or are you out of here?
I think I better go check on my sick kids. I got 2 sick kids. I put one of them to bed early. But the other one, I did not put her to bed yet, and I need to go check on her and make sure that she's good. So, flu and cold season is here, folks. So take care of yourself, take your vitamin C, take your, do all the things to keep yourself from getting sick, because, man, when they get back to school and everything, it hits hard fast. So I'm washing my hands constantly and, like, taking, vitamin C and stuff. I really don't want to get it. So just pray for me that I don't. But I'm going to go. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
All right, folks. Let's hit some supas there. And I know, like I said, it's earlier tonight. There are other things we could cover, but again, I got a Nashville related doctor appointment tomorrow. I should be on tomorrow night, depending on how long that goes. We'll just see. But I'm still planning. So Max Lab kicking it off. What's up, man? How you doing, by the way? I thought there was a birthday notice before that. Let me check something real fast. I thought somebody said that they had a birthday before that. Let me just make sure something didn't come in right before that. 1 minute. I know it takes a second there, but I want to I've gotten to the point, sometimes I forget to pull them up and check it against the supers, but StreamYards, again, they keep changing things. And one of the things they've changed here is they're not showing the earliest ones. Yes, there it is. So Lois, I knew I saw that there. Thanks for the 10. I can't pull it up on the screen. I apologize because it came in before I hit the start button on this. Apparently that's some new thing, but it notes that you're turning 60 today. Man, that's awesome. And you need a birthday song. And of course, let me pull up your birthday song. I knew I saw that come in. No, I'm glad that I did too. Let's do this.
Happy, happy birthday.
Happy
From both of us to you. Happy, happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy, happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy, happy birthday. Here's to another year.
I love it and appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Also, Max Lab there. Now, not to skip you in there, Max Lab. I saw you come in, man. I saw the birthday thing and it stuck with me. I was like, wait a minute, I can't see that. I went, Max Lab though. Thank you. Thank you for all you do, my friend. Thank you for super chat. Also, thank you for all you do. Again, love to you, my friend. Appreciate you. Wheezy, what's up, Wheezy? Thanks for the 20 there. Feeling sorry for myself. Had a wisdom tooth removed today. Oh, that's always not fun. Took 2 dentists an hour and a half to get it out. LOL. Don't know how it's a wisdom tooth. It's not even wisdom indeed. I felt like that when I have money for favorite tuglets. Here's a story. So when I went to have my wisdom teeth taken out, this was a long time ago, by the way, but when I went to have them taken out, I never had the prescriptions that come with it, and some of them are pretty rightly strong. They gave me 2 pills and they were like, take one when you're on the way, and take one when you get to the lobby, and everything will start kicking in by the time you're, to the back, I was like, okay. So I took, I came in, I took the one in the lobby, and they were like, oh, we've had a delay. We're going to be starting like 30 minutes later. I was like, okay. So I wasn't thinking much about it, I wasn't thinking much about how good I was feeling or anything in the lobby until I went. They called my name and they were like, "Hey, come on back." And when I went to stand up, I remember in movies when the frame it like tilts to the left or the right. That's how I felt. I was like, "Whoa!" It was like the entire world was tilting back and forth, and it was kind of fun though. I was like, "Woo!" Oh, it was so. The wisdom tooth thing was not fun though. So you have my love with that. You get better on that. That is not fun. But you know what? In the aftermath, being done with it, it's good. I'm glad they're gone. Thank you also, Weez Wills, dropping the gifted membership too. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you. Rain, thanks for the 5. Hey, the birthday song was played by Megan weeks ago after you left. Man, yes, you need a happy birthday. Of course. Let me get you one here. Of course, Lorraine, you need that.
Happy, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lorraine.
From both
and yes,
of
it
us
is
to you.
very much from both of us.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy, happy birthday.
That's a song.
We love to have you here. Happy, happy birthday. Here's to another year.
I love it. I love it. And happy birthday to you. And I appreciate that. By frosting, like, yeah, indeed. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do as well. I catch everything that you send and stuff. Like I said, I very much appreciate you. So I hope your birthday was great too. I hope it was a fun one, and I hope it has been a beneficial and great year. Thanks for the 10. I don't like BBB, but he's really, he's not suffered at all in this. We laugh at him. but he's made several parties spend a metric ton of money. He escaped sanctions so far. He's pretty much unscathed. Yeah, well, the really interesting part when you get into it too is the early live streams. Now they removed the early live streams where they talked to him, but those live streams actually ended up copied, so they do exist. And in the early ones, when they discuss what motivated all of this and how it comes forward, these are discussions. I don't know if they want to exist anymore. When you get to that, a lot of the claims they kind of fall by the wayside, because I mean, this is a person, again, they introduced themselves to this. They you see how they get in contact with Preston. You've seen everything that comes up, how they've been party to God knows everything in this. But also they're not just they're not just stationed as a lawyer in this. Again, some of the lawyers, you see them out there. Many of them are just boring individuals. They do their job, and that's that. And everybody should be represented. Everyone, as we say many times. So, what makes him different in that? Well, I mean, look at the behavior you've seen. Look at this is the thing that I just showed you, where he's going after Randy too. That's not older behavior. That's in the now. Like, that's happening in the now. That was on something talking about the Dan Owens case, where again, he's calling for people to go out and to make the public to call the bar, push them to action. It's wild. It's so wild. I mean, when you look at lawsuits and everything else, you look at the conspiracies, it's just it's something. But yeah, I mean, so far you're right. Like, he's walked away from quite a bit of the insanity, really unscathed. And he said that before too. He said, there's nothing that you could do that could hurt me or my business. You don't know about my clients. None of my clients have heard of this stuff. It's okay. I think tomorrow I really want to cover since the Larry lawsuits in, I really want to cover that filing where he talks about jail. I think that would be perfect to discuss, because there's different levels and layers of what Bruce is alleging, and I think it'd be fun to pick a lot of those apart and to cover those Larry videos, the ones in question. So you can see what was said. You can see it in context. Context matters. And then you can make informed decisions with that. Maybe not. Thanks for the 2 there. Can't keep up tonight? I'm going to lay down. Hey, well, love you, maybe not. I hope you're doing okay. Can't keep up? Are you tired? You not feeling good? It's a bad season for people here right now. Both the kids, so there hasn't been a raid all week, really. It's because the little one has not felt good. It's the weather. It's sinus season here. So weather changes, everyone gets sick. So lots of fun with that. But I mean, I get it. You rest and love to you. Oh man, I see you sent 10 giftos too. Appreciate that too. Maybe not. Appreciate you as always. It always brings a laugh. Again, I love that avatar. I love it. I love the name and everything. So I appreciate you. Joan, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Joan. That's awesome. I like it. Your avatar's awesome. I'm going to blow this picture up so I can look at it. That's cool, man. I like it. Thank you there. I appreciate you. I'm looking back last night. If you missed the live stream last night, by the way, on Megan's channel, we covered the court discussion, the court hearing, everything in it. And there was that part. I did not hear it when I first listened to, where Preston had asked them to basically shut off the record, the case. I thought that was really, really interesting to see brought up, like I said, I missed that when I first went through because it's such a low volume. We had the volume jacked up so high you could hear them talking and whispering. But that was wild. If you missed that, like I said, you should go in for last night and check that one out too. It was good. Fallen Hero, what's up, Fallen Hero? Good to always see you. Appreciate you. Thank you for the membership there too. Thank you, my friend. Emmy, what's up, Emmy? Thank you for that gifted membership as well, Emmy. It's good to see you too, man. I love it. Like I said, I've gotten to know so many of you. I appreciate you folks. Sandra, thanks for the 2 there. LP destroys her own lawyers. Yeah, well, it's hard to represent somebody that is a wrecking ball for their own cases. Like, she has put so much out into the public already that it is really difficult to say that she's not done certain things. Again, they can argue that case and more, but when they don't want to provide discovery, when they provide it for other things, though, again, she's provided discovery without understanding it too. Like it'll be that'll be a real interesting discussion for her. But she deletes. There's many things like for example, she talked about things involving this case that she's in. She talked about them on YouTube and then deleted it all. Now, you're not supposed to do that. But anyway, it's crazy. Pickled Tink, thanks for the 10 there. Didn't BBB lie when in his Pro Hawk V check, like not turning over the information regarding the stuff that he was in Connecticut bar? I guess he'd show his ass, perjury, correct? I don't remember. He had, at the time, he was fighting with the bar, so there was no decision or anything against him. So at that time, I mean, he would be in good standing as far as I'm remembering, unless there's something I'm not. If you're talking about everything he was going on with, again, he was right when he filed that, he was in a fight with them. And if there isn't a decision against you, you're considered in good standing. So I don't think at that time there was anything that he would have been withholding. Like I'm trying to remember something that, again, even with that, Fed 1 would not have been the case it was without Bruce in there. You know what I mean? Like without him, he definitely made that case for everybody. When will BBB ever get sanctioned? Or well, it should have happened a while back. It's still sitting out there. So that is a very good question. That is unfinished business that even though the case is paused. Now, again, if I were in a court case, I would note that the reason that he has not been sanctioned is because of them delaying the case. Because you got to remember, it's been attempts at delay. I mean, really, that's been their strategy over doing anything else has just been delaying cases. That's what Fed 1 was. And since the decision, I mean, really, what has happened since then? You had the judge locked the case down. It started to come back. So you had a filing or two, and then you went into the bankruptcy mess. So if I were Larry, one of the things that I would know with that is I would say, look, this case has been frozen all this time. The judge did admonish both attorneys. He very much did. It's one of his orders is it's pretty brutal. It is pretty freaking brutal. And then on top of that, the hearing itself, the minutes are out there and it's not kind to Bruce either. So I would definitely bring that stuff up as far as this is. And I would bring up the fact that he bounced off the case very quickly. He was like, I'm not showing up and I'm out of here. That I would if I were Randy, if I were not if I were Randy, if I were Larry, Randy, I don't know what I said. But if I were Larry, I definitely would. God, So crazy, isn't it? Both of them get named out like they do. Suzanne, what's up, Suzanne? You know what? Your Muppet looks so nice. Like, you know, it looks like just a con. I like that. I really do. Such a nice Muppet there. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate that. Chris, I got your emails too on this. Thank you. That is wild that there's something tripping off that content filter. I'm going to see exactly what, because again, you know, if you label, we only have 2 settings with YouTube. We either have a content for children, which we're not doing content for kids, you know, so I'm not going to click that button. This content is definitely not, you know, made for kids. You know, we talk about some pretty heinous stuff sometimes. Now, sometimes, you know, we'll just talk about a court case or court document, you know, which is no big deal. But yeah, it only has that or the regular everything setting. So it's crazy if they have an issue there. I will hit my MCN up and see if they know anything about it and what they can do. And thank you. Serena Al, what's up? Thanks for the 2 there. There's not a statement attached, but it is a statement in backing. Thank you for backing the channel. Thank you for that statement. Appreciate you. Kat, thanks for the 2. I don't know why it's live for Tim's on replay or rewatch crew though. Well, that's good there. You know, I've been able to catch more myself. It's been one of those things. That's an interesting trial. It is. Serena also, thanks for I changed my avatar to stand in solidarity with the ostrich. That's awesome. I'll send that over to Megan. That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. She'll love it. That's for sure. Rob, thanks for the 10. You know, yep. Screamed at ChatGPT after finding to get a series of pics I could turn into blue tape. Yes. I'll give 2 hours of putting blue ropes everywhere but in their hands. Yeah. Well, you know, it gaslights you about picture size too. So I'll be like, here's the exact dimensions of a YouTube of a thumbnail. I need this exact now. And it's like, oh, okay, sure. And then when it comes, it's never right. Never, ever the right size. Then, you know, you can ask ChatGPT. You can say, there was this one series of pictures I was putting together, and I was making it more and more realistic. You know, I wanted to make that umbrella guy, but more realistic. And it's like, okay. I added a background. It was like a courthouse, but it added static. And I was like, that looks good. Redo it though and take the static out. No static, none at all. Do you understand? And it's like, yes, no static. And it makes a picture and it has more static. it doubled down and just made everything look staticky and messed up. So that's the way it does. It's like it gaslights you on purpose. It's so crazy. Lizzie, what's up, Lizzie? Thank you for that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for that membership and welcome to Tugs Thugs. And thank you for letting me do that spiel too. I always love doing that. So thank you. Oh, Ball Python King, thanks for the 10 months. Some people just ain't too bright. Well, it is weird that they had an admission of the case that they were involved in. That is a strange admission, considering, you know. Lorraine, thanks for Lori. I said Lorraine for some reason. I wanted to read it weird. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. Lori, thank you for the 5 there. It took you 4 hours to get through 1 hour testimony. It took me 8 hours to listen today. I had it on when I could. I had a lot of pause. Indeed. You know, for commentary too, like the honest thing too is if you have something that you play, one of the things that protects you as a commentator for fair use, in order for it to be fair use, there has to be commentary on it, you know? So anything we pull up, we comment on quite a bit, you know? And video wise, especially, I enjoy going through video, you know, looking at every nuance and detail. If we don't do it that way, like with thousands of us, miss stuff. Like I said, on my own, just watching that, I missed the discussion where Preston wanted to shut that. I missed that totally. And it's like, man, I listened to that thing multiple times. I just didn't notice it. So, but going through it as we did, like that brought up a huge one. So it is funny, like how you know, we go in. It takes a lot of time, and then when you add to it, it takes forever to go. It's indeed, it becomes your entertainment. I do these days. I've been doing like 3 things. I've been either listening to audiobooks. There was a video game I picked up, so I've been playing on a video or doing things with this. And sometimes I'm doing 2 together. You know, if I can do something play wise and listen to different streams on this stuff, man, it's crazy. You know, then when you put everything else together, it's a lot, but it becomes the new entertainment. Emmy, thanks for the 8 months and all the love, Emmy. Thank you for that. Much appreciate you. Thank you. The Squanginator, the Squangin. Once this actually gets into court, I totally expect the soft citizen arguments to flow like water. I think there will be some really interesting ones that come up with that too. You know, the other case, like we for ours with Federico's, we're waiting. Like, you know, we're talking about a case that God knows when you'll finally get answers on it, because that's a case that isn't expected until 2027. So if it goes all the way forward, so they're not in a hurry with that. I mean, it's amazing how long it takes to get to something. Look at how long they've been trying to serve people. Like, isn't it wild? And thank you again. Maybe not brought up the stuff with Max Lab. So did Colleen. Thank you both for pointing that out too. That's great of you. And I'm curious how that comes together there. And Angela, 36 months, 3 years, Angela. That is awesome. You know, that is very appreciated. Like I said, you all make the channel. You all have allowed, again, me to get to the point where I want to cover 1 or 2 things. That's all I want to do. I want to look at this one thing. I want to like this case especially. It's not like a celebrity case or anything. This is 10 to, depending on what you count in future cases, up to potentially 14 or more cases that spawn off that. It's crazy, maybe more. So this thing, it has become just madness personified. It is so weird and interesting to watch. Bunsen Rock and Stone, thanks for the 5. Wasn't he streaming when the server was at the door? I didn't catch that, if that actually happened. I don't remember it. So maybe that happened and my memory is just shot, but I do not remember that happening. But I mean, again, maybe. I don't remember that happening, just to say. D, thanks for the 6 months. There's 6 months. That everyone, love you all. Indeed, D. Hey, love to you too. Like, that's the one that, like I said, I love. Come together, we goof off, we have a fun time. You get to read all the craziness and look at the craziness on the day. It's good stuff. Rob, thanks for the 2. Thought Bruce was lowered up. Oh, lawyered up. Yes, he is, Rob. I think Megan answered that. That's what she was trying to answer on there. And it's a good question if we weren't clear on that. Yeah, the lawyer's lawyered up. So, cruise ship mama, thanks for the 5. Oh, man. Saturday's my birthday. Of course, it's a century old, celebrating 15 years. That's awesome. Lung cancer free. You got to work that night. Well, we will celebrate right now. I mean, that's great, man. Birthdays, you know, it's not the celebration. Like, some people get confused in that. I think we don't celebrate the day. We celebrate the person and the person being there, and it's great. And you having that 15 years, man, that's great. So let's happy birthday, happy
From
birthday,
all of us to you. Happy birthday.
Yeah, rock that song.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy to
1 million
another
years.
year.
Man, love it. Love to you. Appreciate you there. Puzzle Puzzler. Thanks for the two. My spouse never remembers. It's not my birthday. I know, man. You know, that's terrible. You know, that is actually terrible. You know, it's not your birthday. It's not your birthday. It's still not your birthday today. Yeah. There you go. It's so funny. Bobby, thanks for the 5 there. They're going after Larry because of everyone in here. He's the only one that's not in creator property. Brokies. It's true too. He's the one I wouldn't go after. You know what I mean now? Like, he's the one that, I mean, he can play their game. He can play their game. And it'll be good. I think Larry has I think we'll see either we'll see one of the BBB specials and everything will fall by the wayside, or we'll see a protracted lawsuit. And if we see that, you know, setting precedent that this person is, you know, going out, threatened to sue a lot of people, by the way. You know, we've seen multiple people that he's gone and threatened. Threatened Shizzy, he threatened, you know, I'm talking about himself. He threatened Shara. Now, for myself and Meg, I don't know. Like, he threatened lawsuit, but I looked at that on behalf of other people. Now, maybe he meant it on behalf of himself. He was like, I'm not an ambulance chaser anymore, but he wasn't like threats for the others, you know. It wasn't the like the overt threat of lawsuit that he has placed at the other people's doorsteps, but he definitely has threatened to sue other people too. And, you know, going with Larry as the tester, man, you know, that'll be interesting to see play out. But yeah, the brokies indeed, right? It's funny. Jack's Bob, thanks for the 10. When you think of the number of people involved, previous cases, evidence, etc., it takes a long time to explain this. Yes, to anyone, yes. This is something they jumped into overnight. Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot, you know. But when you get into it too, I told somebody who was talking about it, and I broke it down for them, and it took about a week to, you know, get everything situated, show them everything they wanted to, and they've kind of become addicted to it after that. I'm like, yeah, it's like a spider web. You know, at first when you're getting close to it, you're like, man, that thing, the intricacy and stuff, but it has a very simple reaction. You get stuck in it. It's beautiful. Rob, thanks for the 5 there. I get the feeling John and LP can't set up any web pay services to receive money directly. Probably kicked off all of them. Reason for dependency on place. I actually think what happened was, see, they didn't set up any direct GoFundMe. I think she can set up GoFundMes, but under her own name, it didn't work. See, 2L became their mouthpiece, their spokesperson, and through that, they actually they were able to raise money, you know, outside of them, and it only worked because they were doing it. You know, they wanted a feel of spontaneity. They wanted this. They also, I don't think they really wanted to track how much money came in. You know, so I think there were a lot of reasons they did that, but I don't know. I mean, it is interesting. LP, can you set up GoFundMe? She says that she can, but I haven't seen her in a while. Maybe she could prove that comment. Can you do that? Like, it is a good question. I think it ultimately, though, one of the reasons they didn't set up under her is because if the money went directly to her, yeah, at one time, she had deniability off of taxes and everything else. I think that might have been a plan at the beginning. But now with everything, you can tell something went majorly wrong in all of this madness. And what makes it incredibly crazy is now they've been talking a deadline, saying if they don't do something by such and such date, then. And you know they're not going to be able to raise money for anything. They can't do it on their own. So they put them in this this no-win situation. And again, the clock's running out on them, and they are not motivated enough to do anything for themselves. Again, Cook is actually working, it looks like, against Preston. That is wild to say, against her wants. Like, that is so wild. I mean, every report you have from anybody, you can hear them argue. Again, other videos like the Thomas, whatever his name is, you can hear them in those videos. They argue and they fight all the time. It's so crazy, man. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to speculate. Ultimately, they're the only ones that can really answer those questions, right? Hale, so man, we got 3 birthdays so far. This is good. I've enjoyed today. I love getting some birthday songs in. Let's bust this out.
Happy birthday!
That is awesome.
From both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We love to have you here.
We love it.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Here's to another year.
10 billion years. That's right. Appreciate you there too. Oh man. Hey, Sheila, by the way, appreciate it. I saw a $10 for PayPal command. Thank you for that. That is awesome of you. I appreciate that. Saw that thing come up on there. So thank you. That is, like I said, that is much appreciated. Oh, that'll be good tomorrow. Like I said, unfortunately, I have a doctor appointment. I got to go all the way to Nashville. I have to have somebody drive me. You know, right now, I still haven't gotten to where I can drive that far easily. Some days I can, but not. I don't trust it to Nashville. But I got to load up the kids. They don't feel good. You know, they have to come with me because it'll be a whole day thing. And oh, what a fun day. What a fun day for them. So that'll be something I can take them by. I'm sure that they're feeling better. So I think they'll be better for tomorrow, or I wouldn't take them anyway. You know, but oh man, I definitely want to take them by somewhere. So that definitely that helps out. Cash on hand, baby. Yeah. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Elsie, though. I appreciate you too. Like I said, 3 birthdays. That's great. Just Jay, thanks for the fun. BBB is not even a public figure. Larry's going down. Poor Larry in jail. Yeah. That would be a great argument, except for BBB saying himself that he is a public figure, you know. Oh, man. You know, if he wouldn't have been like, I was famous off the mac and cheese. So bizarre. You gotta love it. It'll be fun to talk about at least. Now, again, I hate that Larry has to deal with it. Larry's been doing his own thing, man. He hadn't even been near this stuff. That's what blows my mind too. He's been off doing his own thing. He talked about this here and there, and yet I still don't understand, by the way, what 2L is saying that they got flagged for. I don't get the supposed flag. And again, as I've said, I don't want these channels going down, because these channels, I mean, they are entertainment. They are very well entertainment. I mean, we have heard more about the money, Preston, and all of that lately. I mean, that's been really interesting. And the same with all of them. Again, whether I like or dislike somebody, ultimately, if they're taking aim at like a Hales, if he feels they need to go down, then he can go after them. But they always talk about how he can take channels down, and yet he hasn't. That should say something on his mindset. I don't know. I've not gone for that question for him, but I would think, well, they are an evidence machine, so why would you? I mean, look at all the things they've admitted over time. But for me, I mean, I don't really like getting into the flagging game. I don't. I never really have gotten into the flagging game. you know? So I don't know if or what they supposedly got hit for. I would like to understand that. Like it's been such a, I don't even understand the claim of what they got flagged for, you know, like what it was supposed to be about. Because they said that they knew that, okay, they said that there were copyright. They kept saying it, but they said it was for something that was read like harassment or something. Okay, well, the only problem with that is harassment is not a copyright strike, it's a community guideline strike. And if you're flagged for that, you don't know the names of the people that report you because it doesn't, unless they admit it, it doesn't say that on the thing. It only says it for copyright strikes. So the whole thing, because it doesn't make any sense when I'm listening to it. Wanda, thanks for the 20 there. Appreciate that. Hey, Tongue for the trip to Doctor. Love you, dude. Well, I appreciate that. Yes. Love return too. It is freaking Murfreesboro, Nashville. I usually go to Murfreesboro afterwards. I said Murfreesboro because that Murfreesboro seems like a long ways, but I go all the way to Nashville. Lord. I hate the fact, like I said, I haven't even been, I go that far. I don't even drive myself. I hate it. Reese, thanks for the 10 there. Add me to the sick crew. My husband is a teacher. Bring home all the oh no, that's not fun. As of now, negative for beer bug, flu AB. Good, at least that. But it's terrible. Like with kids, God, I remember college. Oh Lord. Some of the health standards for even adult children. That's what it was for a lot of that. Yuck. Rosilla, thanks for the two. Ostracized. I know you have been ostracized. We have the power. You are ostracized. All of it. I love it. Gamer Jackie, thanks for the 6 months. So I haven't been on health stuff. Hey, you take care of you. Love to you there. Love y'all. Girls chat too. Well, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hey, is Cynic and Chief, are you here, brother? I haven't seen your name come up. I'm used to seeing Cynic and Chief's name in the chat. I'm just curious. Like some of y'all I see all the time. And see Cynic and Chief's name pop up. Jack's mom, thanks for the 5. I was trying to refer to getting a new lawyer. It's complicated. You talking about getting a new lawyer? Is that what you mean? You were thinking about it? I'm not sure what you mean there. You'll have to tell me. I'm not sure what you meant with that one. Maybe my mind's just not processing it there, you know? Serena, I was like, yeah, I fell asleep too. Well, yeah, I know how that is. I'm to the end of the show myself. You'll have to tell me. I'm sorry, Jacob. My brain is not following. It is I'm not saying it's tired, but it's something else. Oh, that's interesting. Oh my gosh. That's really funny. So apparently apparently the 2 lawyers that don't like to compare each other, Gingras and Bruce, apparently they're adopting each other's tactics. So you have Gingras now saying that the other lawyers that are involved in that, it's all because of YouTube content. It's so crazy. All right, folks, I'm going to call it a night. You all get some rest. I've got the traffic is awful there, Angie, going in there. But don't let Bug drive. Yeah, that would be that would be something. But I'm gonna go rest it out to get ready for it. It's an early day tomorrow. Tomorrow night we should be on, barring anything that comes up. Again, I'm planning to go live, so hopefully we will see you there. If not, I'll post something again. Everything's okay. I don't want anybody worrying about that, but it's just the length of the trip. So anyway,